The Women of the Oklahoma Legislature project was launched in 2008 and assigned to professor and oral historian Tanya Fincham. This project serves as an effort to capture the perspectives of women who had served or were serving in the legislature at the time. The collection consists of 47 interviews, educational lesson plans, and campaign memorabilia from the women. This collection provides opportunity to pursue answers to questions left silent in what little archival material exists for these women. From 1907 to 2008, only 77 women had served in legislature, which is only about 2.6% of the total members. Here is Dr. Tanya Fincham speaking about her involvement in this project.
Back in 2006, when I volunteered to get involved with oral history, I submitted an application to go to the Regional Oral History Summer Institute at Berkeley. And to do that, I was picked. It was a competitive process. You had to take a project that you were going to be working on. And Dr. Jennifer Postenbaugh was over women's archives here in the library at that time and was working with a political science professor doing politics and women and things like that, not just in Oklahoma but other places, and noticed there wasn't any or very much information about these women. Initially she had said we would just try to do 10 to 15, but the more you got into it, the detective work comes in and you think, oh, let's see how many we can find. So we ended up doing 47. One of them withdrew, so we have 46 interviews. A couple of those are with relatives because the person had already passed away. The House of Representatives and the Senate, both in Oklahoma, were developing a website at that point with a historical list, and they would have names on there and what towns they were from. So if I couldn't find access to them on the internet, I would contact the librarian there or who was serving in that district at the time, and they helped locate them, put a bug in their ear and say this project's going on. Yeah. And I only had a few that just hemmed and hawed a little bit once they talked to me, but then their circle, they heard from others that it went well, so they'd call me back and say, let's do this. One other lady met me at the door when I went to her home, and before we even started recording, she shared with me a story about losing her son. She didn't want to talk about it on camera, but she wanted me to be aware of it, so we worked through that for about 30 minutes, of tears and all of that too before you got organized. So it's not really surprising from the informational standpoint, but it's the personal aspect of things too. So it was an emotional project in some ways.